Today, let's pray with a reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. People were bringing children to Jesus that he might touch them, but the disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw this, he became indignant and said to them, "Let the children come to me. Do not prevent them. For the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Amen, I say to you, whoever does not accept the kingdom of God like a child will not enter it." Then he embraced them and blessed them, placing his hands on them. The Gospel of the Lord. We come to the end of a week when we've been meditating on Mark's Gospel, and among other things we've said, we have made the resolution to fall deeper and deeper in love with the Word of God. To fall in love with it and crave it. Crave it as we crave our food every day. And that is because as we fall in love with what God says through Jesus, we inevitably fall in love with Him. Just as you fall in love with what your husband or wife tells you, just as you once fell in love with their words, the look in their eyes, and their gestures, just as you fall in love every day with their thoughts and feelings, may we crazily fall in love with God's Word as we listen to Him. May we become enthusiastic about everything that Jesus tells us, because that's what He came to the world for, not only to deliver us from sin, but also to have us fall in love with Him, with His Father, with His person, and with everything He teaches us. And as we are on this track, I suggest we synthesize briefly what we listened to this week. I dare summarize it in a single phrase or thought. What did Jesus try to do these days? In brief, Jesus also came to the world to teach us to love. In this week's Gospels, as well as in last Sunday's, we saw once and again how Jesus gradually corrected those who came close to Him, and especially His disciples, His closest, and wanted to teach them love. He wanted to protect the most sacred we all have, the most sacred calling we have, which is love. And that's what we need to think about in our lives. We were created to love, to open up to communion with our neighbors, to let their lives get into ours, your husbands, your wives, your children's lives, the life of those around you, Jesus' life. That's why, as we open up to God's love, to Jesus' love, inevitably, almost by the force of gravity, we open up to the love of others. We said at one point that Jesus didn't like arguments, and He intervened to stop any arguments. He wanted to speak face to face with the father of the boy who was possessed by a spirit and bring out the best in him, a prayer for faith. I do believe. Help my unbelief. He then taught us that we also need to drive the devil out with prayer. This kind can only come out through prayer. That we spoke about on Monday. On Tuesday, Jesus was angry, so to speak. The disciples, who were arguing who should be first, who was greatest, failed to understand, failed to see, that Jesus wants to present Himself to us as humble, weak, approachable. That's why He gets angry and tells us, if anyone wishes to be first, he shall be the last of all, and the servant of all. Jesus didn't like it either when His disciples wanted to prevent others from doing good. That was in Wednesday's Gospel, remember? Those were all lessons in love. To love, we have to make ourselves equal to others. We shouldn't expect to have the monopoly of good deeds. We must know that there's a lot of goodness around us, that many do good deeds, that many open up to love, just as we, Jesus' followers, open up. On Thursday, Jesus warned us against causing anyone to sin, against tripping them up, against being an obstacle in their path to faith. That's the worst that could happen to us. In order to love, we have to realize that we are united to Jesus. That's why when they do us some good, they also do good to Jesus. And yesterday, facing the persecution of the Pharisees who wanted to make him blunder, Jesus protected the most sacred thing in our lives, family love. What God has joined together, no human being must separate. This gospel shouldn't be read as a set of harsh words from Jesus, but rather as the expression of his desire to protect what is most sacred. And it's true that to protect what is most sacred, one has to be firm, and one has to be harsh. But it's all for good, for a greater good. Family love is the most important thing in our life. It has given us all that we have, or taken away from us what we most desire. And so this week we could see how the Lord taught us to love. We, Jesus' disciples, need to learn to love. We need to learn to give up ourselves, give up our airs and graces, our aspirations to be the first, to be greater than others, and realize that we are equal to all. That's why husband and wife become one flesh. And so you, as a father, as a mother, as someone who's in charge of others, need to teach them to give up themselves, to come together into a single great siblinghood. May God grant that this week's Gospels have helped us to take a step further in life, a life in which nothing is more important than loving and letting others love us. May we have a good day, and may the blessing of our merciful God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit descend upon our hearts and remain with us forever.